separately to assess the proper tax compliance, proper tax points. Next issue is the refund. As I was mentioning to you, schools have their 90 percentage of the, or I would say 80 percentage, because transportation income is a considerable amount, where because we collect a considerable amount towards the transportation service. We provide tuition fee. We have a tuition fee as a income, which is zero rated, and we will be incurring a lot of expenses like for the maintenance of the premises, electricity, the textbooks what we procure locally or from the international market. All that will qualify for standard rated supply, and you might be constructing a new schools or premises for the increased number of students. All that are eligible for refunds, right? You can actually claim it back from the authority. And since you have a zero rated supply, more zero rated supply, you will always be in a refund position. Then, but actually, schools are facing difficulties in getting the refund. Since we have participants from the industries and institutions, educational institutions, from primary to secondary to higher secondary, you might know it, like, to what extent you have received the refunds and what all difficulties you're facing. We are also supporting our clients, the institutions, to get the refund. And we prepare the Excel formats for their request. If you had applied, then you will know how complicated it is, how detailed they are asking for the details, FDA. Like each student wise, each invoice wise information, how much is zero rated, how much is standard rated, how much is exempted. You need to give that. As I told you initially, the system inadequacy actually leads to these problems. We are unable to pull out the information from the system, like say parent wise, if you are invoicing parent wise information. If a parent itself is having three students studying the school in different standards, how to pull out the data, how to pull out the information, so much complication, so much issues. And getting a refund because of this reason is also actually very difficult, It's very difficult to get the refund. It's not because they're not giving, because we are unable to provide the required information to the authority. Actually, if you are complying with all the requirements, if you have all the documents maintained, and if your system is able to pull out the information, actually you can get the refund. It's actually not a practical issue, but due to other issues associated, we are not getting the refunds. With this, okay, this is very important as well. As I told you initially, I would be showing a format of a tax invoice. This can be parent-wise or a student-wise. If it is a parent-wise tax invoice, the invoice will have a lot of information, much more information. This is one student's case, and if you have three children studying in the same school, then you have to have three this kinds of this one and summary of it. We have made a system. We have redesigned the system to issue an invoice which can have up to 6 students. Since we are modifying it more, we as the software guys, we sat with them and asked them to modify it this way. Up to 6 students, 6 children can be incorporated along with one invoice. Very detailed tax invoice we have prepared. And I would like to show you this case that description will go from tuition fees to transportation charges, from zero rated to standard rated to exempt supply. One invoice can have all this, and this invoice is actually generated even before the students enrolls. Initially, it was very amusing to us that they said, okay, one student is there in 5th standard already, and before the school reopens or the curriculum starts, they will post all this revenue. They will post the invoices in the system, assuming that the student will continue in the school. If the the class starts on 1st of September, 15th of August itself, all this invoice will be posted. That too all together, like say tuition fees and special tuition, transportation, all this revenue will be posted all together. And when and of course the check payment will be in quarterlies. That is not relevant when it comes to this case where the invoice is posted altogether. They will be disclosing it in the first quarter, first return itself, the whole revenue. And this will capture all the information of tuition fees, what not, everything will be captured. This could be the ideal format of a tax invoice, which you can also implement in your institutions. Then comes the format of a tax credit note, which will have to be this way. It's not in case of educational institutions, but all the taxable entities, the tax credit note should have this following information. And so far, many institutions, many registrants have not implemented it, but it's a serious offense and you have to comply. All the cases, they do not have the reference to the invoice against which you are issuing the tax credit notes. What is the original value in the invoice body already issued? Like say in our case itself, tuition fees is 30,000, and you have to refer the invoices number 1234, and here also it's 1234. We have to give a cross link to the original invoice and to the original amount. What is the original amount? It was 30,000. What is the revised value? There is no revised value. We are giving the whole money back. The student decided not to continue. He moved out of the school and joined somewhere else. Then the revised value will be zero. Means 100% of the amount they are giving it back. Credit amount is 30,000. Tax on the credit is actually nil because it's a zero rated supply. There was not tax collected initially, and hence when we are issuing the credit note again, there is no VAT. But ID card, we have to collect it 100 dirhams, and again there is no revised value, it's zero. Credit amount is 100, and tax on the credit on this ID card will be 5 because we had collected VAT of 5% on the 6 line item, 5 dirhams towards that, and we are reversing it. So this could be the ideal format of a tax credit note as well. And we have to mention the reason why credit note is issuing. We have to mention it's very important why exactly the reversal is happening. Maybe because the student left the school or student moved out, multiple reasons. So far we tried to cover all the practical issues broadly, and we also discussed about what is standard, zero, and what is exempted. Now we have certain questions. What is asked by the audience, or what we have been receiving before in our experience. So, Sachin, also you are also requested to join to discuss this FAQs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First one to answer. School is planning to conduct a special classes for the students during their vacation. Okay. The classes are conducted according to the school curriculum approved by the authority. What's the tax treatment? As Sachin was mentioning, if it is as per the curriculum mentioned by the attack or relevant authority, then it's treated as a zero rated subject and need not be charged with 5% VAT now. I think that clarifies answers to the question. Second question is.
The second question what we have received was about a school bus. Yeah, our school bus has undergone a major repair last month. The bus is under the ownership of our school. Are we eligible to claim tax? See, on a notification issued by FDA, it was clarified that school bus transportation, especially, should be considered as exempt supply. So, as you might be knowing, for exempt supply, input tax recoverability is not possible. So, since reading in terms with that, since the school bus transport is considered as exempt supply, the expense incurred for the exempt supply is not recoverable. So in this case, it won't be recoverable.
Okay. School offers canteen services to the students at a subsidized rate. Okay. The payment for meals is collected through prepaid card, which is collected along with the payment of the tuition. Shall tax and what? Sachin, I think it's a very relevant question.
Yeah.
The practices followed by schools are like say different. They collect and they give coupons to the students already met, or sometimes it will be counter sales. They can go and pay cash. But schools are nowadays insisting that the students should not bring cash to school. So this practice is being followed across these states. And the tax computer is that you're not required to issue a tax invoice when you recharge the prepaid, or when you recharge the card. I would say recharge the card, or you buy the prepaid card, or when you buy the coupons, you're actually not required to issue a tax invoice. But when you redeem it, of course you have to issue a tax invoice. The point of taxation is when you redeem it, not when you recharge. Recharging is like, say you go to Lulu and you buy a recharge card, like say prepaid card of Lulu, then gift card of Lulu, then that does not qualify for a taxable supply. But when you use these cards to purchase items, that qualifies that is the point of taxation, is where you have to issue a tax. But just to add on it, there could be situations or due to practical issues that your cafeteria or your canteen might not be able to issue the tax invoice when they redeem. Issues in that case, actual treatment would be when you redeem it, but if they are unable to do it, then you can issue a tax invoice beforehand. But that could not be 100%. Essentially, we cannot say that that's 100% compliant with the requirements.
Yeah, it's preferred the other way. This might be
Yeah.
The other.
Hi, Navneet.
Yes, Ravi.
Please let us look into the time as well. Yeah.
Sure. So we'll just go through it quickly. Our school charges AED 100 for replacing misplaced identity cards can be treated as out of scope supply. So the question of out of scope supply arises because they consider it as a compensatory payment, and hence whether they can treat it as out of scope supply. So we cannot say it is an out of scope supply or it's a compensatory payment because we are replacing it with another card. So there is actually supply which is happening right there. So it's to charge 5%. They consider it as standard rated supply. There is a supply which is happening. It's not just a compensatory payment. So there is a standard rated supply.
Okay. Hi, speakers. Would you like to have a quick answer the Q&A that is asked?
Actually, Sachin has answered a few already. The remaining questions as well.
Just for a minute.
Yeah, I think there's one yet to be answered.
Okay. Answered questions, I don't think we need to take it up. Only unanswered.
Yes.
We have school canteen in which we make a single invoice for all the sales for the day. Okay. Label of each item's quantity, so okay. We know that it's a practical issue for faced by the schools to invoices for each of the supplies. But if I understand the situation, or it's the situation where I'm an individual and buy goods, but I'm not getting an invoice. But actually the taxable supply has happened. The invoice is not generated. Same is the case in this as well. Each student, when they come up with something, then they can already, but due to time constraints, we are unable to answer it. Of course, you can write to us if you have any questions. Anything to add to it, Sachin?
No, I don't think we only had some few more FAQs, but since it's already our time.
So, of course, you can reach to us through all the link, and we are more than happy to answer all your questions. And that's all. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining us.
Happy weekend. Enjoy.
Yes, I thank you everyone for tuning in and attending our webinar. Do not forget to register for our upcoming session, which is on retail sector in the UAE. And yes, we're right on time, sharp 9 p.m. in the evening. And yes, if you have any questions or if you require any services, we request you to kindly send an email to us. We're always there to support you and to provide our services. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye and good night.